Sanibonani and welcome to Creator Podcast. My name is Sian Nashaz and I am your host for the show. Okay, guys, so this podcast is dedicated to all the creators, the entrepreneurs, and the people who would like to build their brands from scratch. So we are going to be helping each other to create better. And within my working in the industry, in the advertising and marketing industry for the past 5 years, I've had a lot of questions that you guys have asked me about how to monetize, how to make sure that you strategize your content to make sure that you can work with brands properly, and how to just overall have a good and an impressionable online presence. Right. So we're going to be focusing on these questions, and for episode 1, it's going to be speaking about efficient content creation hacks. Like, how can I have the best hacks for my content creation? If you guys are not following me yet, please do so on all social media platforms, and then you can share the knowledge. If you have any other questions related to this video, you can then ask them as well. Right, so let's get into business, the real business. I'm really going to try not to make this scripted. I didn't script any of the things that I'm going to be saying here. So I'm freestyling because we are learning. This is actually the first episode and kind of feel overwhelmed. The setting up was really difficult, guys. I can tell you that. Setting up the lighting, making sure that I have the right audio was really just... I put the mic here on the side because if it's on my face, it's quite loud and I'm really trying to minimize that. So let's go. Let's get into it. We are here to help you create better, and I'm going to be your friend throughout your social media and digital journey. Alright, okay. So guys, I know that you have been asking a lot of questions in my social media accounts because I do work with quite a lot of South Africa's most loved brands, and I also work in the background as the people who actually scout for these influencers and creators for all our campaigns. So I'm like, hey, let me bring this to you firsthand. I'm your boy, guys. You know, if you have me, you've got me. I really hope that this podcast is going to be very valuable to you. And guys, starting is not easy. I just want to start there. If you want to start something, it's not easy, but you just have to do it. I have this phrase where I say, show up for yourself in each and every way, be it your social, your relationships, be it your work and career, family, and every single thing. You really have to just show up. You know, even if you feel like you're on 30% on the day, show up if you have to and get some rest. We are going to be touching on that later on the other episodes. But for now, this episode is about efficient content creation hacks. I have questions prepared here for you guys that you have been asking me on my socials, and questions that I have been getting throughout working in the industry. And I am currently a social media manager for the biggest brand in South Africa, and I'm going to be revealing just a little bit of naughty, tippy, hacky stuff to you guys so that you can, you know. But before that, this is apple juice for the kick. Oh, okay. These episodes are going to be solo for now until we have covered a few things that I think you guys would like to know about content creation and what I can really share from my experience in working in the advertising and marketing industry. All right. So the first question is, what tools and apps streamline your content creation process? I think I've been asked this question quite a lot. I am a photographer. I studied photography, so I really love content creation. It's part of what I do. I really love telling stories visually. It's just comes naturally to me. But I just had to go and study just to have the backup, guys. Must study, go to school. My process for content creation is quite simple, and I think if you have these few things that I'm just going to count now. First of all, you need a high quality camera. It can be your iPhone. I use the iPhone 13 Pro, so it takes quite good images, and I really trust it, you know, even with video and also with photo. Currently, I'm recording with the iPhone 13 Pro because I have this app running that I'm using for my podcasting, and I think it's really great. So I want to see and test how that is. You can actually use any other camera camera, as long as it can give you 4K quality, you're going to be good, especially on video. I'm saying video because short form video is the new it thing right now. And also, these social platforms are pushing short form video quite a little bit more. You've seen it with TikTok, you have seen it with Instagram Reels, and you've also seen it with YouTube Shorts. So let's get on to it. Another thing that you really have to have is a high quality camera. It doesn't really need to be an iPhone. I have a lot of people who don't use iPhone. Some others use Samsung, some others use Nokia. Any other brand, to be specific, they can really take good images that you really feel like are aesthetically pleasing. Then you are good to go. After that, you are going to be taking pictures and videos or reels or shorts or TikToks and then exporting them to an editing app. So we have different kinds of editing apps. To start off, for photography, I use Photoshop and I also use my iPhone editing feature, which is also just available on the iPhone. You can also use any other editing app, to be quite honest, as long as it does the work. So it has to have your exposures, your contrast, it has to have your brightness, it has to have your shadows, so that you can always adjust if your picture doesn't come out as how you actually wanted it. Also, it's very important that you have good lighting. I have these lights. I've been trying out how they're going to be working, but I'm not really sure as yet. So I'm just putting it onto the test to see how it's going to work. So I've counted, you have to have a high quality camera. You also have to have an editing software or app that you're going to be using. I use Photoshop and I also use Lightroom for my images, and for video I use CapCut, and also sometimes Premiere Pro, which is for big projects that CapCut really can't hold for me, like weddings and other things that are actually bigger. And then after that, you are going to be distinguishing what type of platforms are you going to be using. So if you're going to be posting this on Instagram, you need to create and edit those photos according to your Instagram. So let me say you want to make your grid aesthetically pleasing. You have to take photos that will fit in the Instagram grid and in the Instagram dimensions. You can Google dimensions and then you can see which dimensions each of the app that you're using is going to be using and which one works best actually. So take your photo, edit it in the software, and then export it directly or specifically for that app that you're using, whichever social app that you may be using. So after that workflow, it's definitely just me adding music and adding the tiny little bits. And if you guys have any other questions, please feel free to let me know in the comments below and then I'll just address them. The second question is, how do you plan and organize your content calendar for efficiency? So guys, I think the third question is also going to be feeding into the next one. To make sure that you create a content calendar. A content calendar is what we call a calendar with the specified dates of when you are actually going to be posting your content. Now, this is content that has already been shot, already been prepared. So a lot of content creators, what they do is that they create content in batches. So maybe say you're off on a Saturday if you're working a 9 to 5, or you're free on a Friday. Take 3 outfits or just plan to go to all these locations that you want to shoot and shoot your content, prepare it, and have different outfits and different feels to it. You can also create different formats like JPEGs, which are images, and also videos, which are MP4s. After creating that, you will need to obviously post that. But before you post it, you have to have a content calendar. So now that we live in the world of algorithms, I know that it's quite not easy to really get how the algorithm works. But you have to show up as frequently as you can on your socials. You have to show up as much as you can so that the algorithm can recognize you as an active user. It's really important that you are an active user on your socials. You are going to be taking this content and then dividing it in your content calendar. So for the first week, if you're going to be posting 3 times, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If these are the times you're most comfortable with, then you're going to put batch 1 of the content. Say maybe you're wearing a white t-shirt on the first batch. It's Monday. The second batch is Wednesday, and then you're also going to be wearing maybe a dress if you're a girl. Then you put it there. And then on Friday, maybe you decide that, no, let me go with reels on Friday because maybe it just probably might perform better. So you're going to be putting all these content pieces and planning ahead to say, for the month of February, I'm going to be posting 3 times a week, which means 3, 6, 9, 12. 12 pieces of content that you need to create. It doesn't have to be 3 images per post. It can be 1, but you have to make sure that you have used a really high quality camera and also edits the stuff on a really, really good platform. And I'm going to be teaching you guys later on how to edit, so don't worry about it. For now, these are just the basics that I think you guys should know. Going to the third question. The strategies for repurposing your content in different platforms. So I counted different platforms for you guys, and you might be using TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. So other platforms are strictly just video platforms, short form or long form. But if you're going to be purposing your content across different platforms, you need to have a strategy as well. Are you going to be posting on these different platforms on different days, or on the same day you're going to be doing this? So this is what I do. On a day that I've created content, I'm going to post on Instagram at a specific time, post on Facebook at a specific time, and also post on LinkedIn and on my TikTok, So I create videos for all my platforms, which makes it quite easy because it's very easy. Kulula, guys, because you can just set up the content created in batch and then post across all platforms. So me, I don't actually use a content calendar because I'm not really being that intentional in terms of my posting, but that's going to change. But what I really would like to advise you guys on is that you create a content calendar that will have specific dates. If you're posting 3 times a week, then you must make sure that you've already created batch content later on in the day, previously and prior. Then you are going to be posting according to those dates in specific times. Specific times are really important for algorithms because that's when most people are online. So specific time might be at 9 when everybody's just arrived at work, or when they're on their way to work and they just want to scroll through their phone. Another time would be 12 to 1 when people are enjoying their lunchtime or actually on break. Another time would be when people are off and are back from work. That's a great time for you to post. And that way you know that most people are seeing your content and people are giving you the eyes that you actually need. Right. So the next question is, how have I been able to create evergreen content that has everlasting content? And I would say that when you are a creator, it is really important for you to set goals for where you'd like to be. I'd like to work with the most major brands in fashion and also in the food industry. So I've already started creating stuff that really aligns with those things. When I'm out and I have a sleep outfit, I take content. When I'm out or in my house and I'm preparing or having a very nice meal or an aesthetically pleasing plate, I take a shot of it, I share it on my profile. That way I'm creating a brand so that people have a perception of when we see Maya Jaka, what do we think of? Obviously, you think of a podcast, but you're also going to be thinking of fashion, you're also going to be thinking of food and brand partnerships. Not because I'm getting all of them, but because that is how I've decided and the vision that I have for my online presence. If you are going to be using social media, it can be a great tool for you to be able to make the life that you've always dreamt of having and live the best life ever. Because truth be told, guys, we actually pay content creators quite loads of money. I work as a content creator, but I also work in the background with the agencies and the media that also looks for these content creators. So we look for certain things in these content creators, which are also some of the things I've explained in the video in the beginning. You have to have high quality content. You have to show up as frequently as you can. And you also have to have a sort of a theme and a niche that you're going to be targeting on. So if you're in fashion, strictly stick to fashion. If you're in food, try food. But if you can merge the two things and they make sense, then by all means do that. But the most important thing is for you to have a goal and a vision, and also to niche down, because you can't do everything. There's a lot of brands out there in the world, and if you want to work with brands, you really have to make sure that you are working with brands that align with the vision that you have for your online presence. It doesn't need to be online presence. It can also be the dream that you have. Maybe you've always wanted to work in fashion, maybe you've always wanted to work in culinary, maybe you've always wanted to work in tech. Then you have to align yourself with those brands. So when they're looking for creators, you're going to be at the top of mind. Another thing that is really important is that you guys have to also know that when we are looking for these creators, we look for creators that have and post content that is relevant to this. So a lot of people have asked me that, does it matter how many followers that you have? Do I have to have a lot? I don't have a lot of followers. I have 2,000 followers on Instagram. I have 1.5K on LinkedIn. I have 3K friends on Facebook. And I also have, well, a few subscribers on YouTube for now. And on TikTok, I have 3.7 followers. So it really doesn't have to be a lot of followers. The only thing that you have to do is create content that aligns with the vision that you have for your brand. It's really important that you don't go out and do every single thing that you want to do. A lot of people do succeed when they try out in jokes and they end up having partnerships with other brands. But I really think it's really important for you as a brand to have a value system and a vision so that you know which brands you'd like to attract and which brands you'd like to work with in the future. Another thing that's really important is to know that there are going to be creative blocks. So creative blocks are when you really do not have that inspiration to go out and create any content. You don't feel amped to create anything. And the most important thing that you can do for yourself is to make sure that you get inspired. Be around spaces where there are other creators and with people who actually make you want to create. That is really important because it motivates you and you can actually create a little bit more. Creator's block is something that all the creators and artists actually experience. Sometimes you just gotta rest. Sometimes you just gotta take a breather. But if you really want and you feel like you've rested enough and you want to monetize and make something out of your online presence, it is really, really important that you make sure that you get inspired and motivated to create this content because it can be tiring and you're going to need money to invest in it. It doesn't need a lot of money, but you will need money for simple things like moving around, being in restaurants, and getting the outfits that you'd like to create your next look for. So get fun, get ready, go out there, explore, and take content while you edit. What is the most important thing is that you may be going out on a beach or wherever with your friends or your family, and before you know it, if you're going to be taking content in between with your camera intentionally, when you get home you have a load of content that you can post and share with your followers. It is really important for you guys to relate and also give your followers what they want, because sometimes when people follow you, they're following you for the things, so you gotta give the people what they want, you know. For this first episode, it is really important for you guys to share with me the more things that you'd like to know. We have 10 other episodes that are coming up, and we are going to be discussing different things that you guys would like to know. And if I was really vague and I need to improve, please feel free to let me know and send me feedback so that I can be able to get it better. It was really hard setting the lighting and getting the right sound and knowing where to put my mic in order to have the best audio. I'm not sure how it's going to sound, but we are going to work with this one that we have, and then from here we are going to be learning. This is another thing that I'd like to leave with you in this video. It is really important that you try. You have to try things before you can know where you can be able to fix and get better. So if you never try, you really do not know where your weaknesses might be or where they might lie. So you have to try and put yourself out there and receive the feedback. If you are a creator, you put yourself out there and you put yourself out there to be criticized by people. Sometimes people who have no idea what you're doing, sometimes people who are really clued up about what you're doing, and sometimes who genuinely care about you. So you have to take the criticism and feedback with a pinch of salt so that you can be able to make sure that you allow yourself to grow, you allow yourself to evolve, and you allow yourself to be your best version ever. And it has been really, really epic learning from my mistakes, because from the first video I created, when I was creating content, I got better. From the first photo I shot, I got better. From the first editing, I got better. Like, from the first VO, I got better. So it really has helped me to put myself out there and to try and do things the best way that I can. And also to leave some space for learning as well and growing, because that's really important. Now, another question that you guys have been asking me that I'm going to be making a new video about is how you are going to be able to monetize your content. We live in a world of digital media and we pay content creators a load of money. Now, I'm talking about sponsored and paid partnership posts. Sometimes other apps do not really monetize the content that people create. So you get your content in a lot of people's eyes. A lot of people like your content, they love it, but you're not actually making money out of it until a brand actually approaches you. That is why I want to help you guys to build a profile that is approachable by brands. So that whenever you have the eyes and you've already gathered a large community where people love what you're creating, you can then try to monetize what you're already creating. But before that, you have to have a content and also a display that when we go out and search for the creators, we're like, damn, he's good. Damn, this looks good. He's really amazing. So that's why I want to start there. In the next video, I'm going to be speaking about monetizing your contents for all digital platforms and how you can actually get more brand partnerships. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I really hope you're going to be staying tuned in for episode 2, because I'm going to be feeding you a lot of stuff and I'm going to be getting better, and we are going to be creating better together. My name is Sian Sheldon. I am a digital content creator, a social media manager, and I also work in advertising and marketing. For the past 5 years, I've learned what brands would love to see when they work with creators, and I'm going to be sharing it with you in this channel. Please feel free to ask me any questions on my social media accounts. I am at Mayachalka, at MayaSJ, or at Mayachalka1 on all my social media platforms. I'm going to be putting them here.